This has to be a surprising video, but with that being said, man, ATAI is going to the moon right now. It's not going too insane, but we are looking pretty bullish, and especially with this bear sentiment, like if we go to the SPY overall, we're selling off with the overall tech market. But ATAI is going insane, and it's one that you guys do not want to miss out on, especially right now. So I guess a week ago or something like that, I had a video talking about ATAI, telling you guys to buy it at that $2.60 range. And literally on a Friday, it literally bought like the plays that I had to purchase, it bought at that $2.60 level. And with this little rejection right here, it seems like a lot of people bought at that level. And they're very pumped because they're making a decent amount of money. And especially at that 432, which is insane. I'm making insane returns, and I'm hoping you guys are as well. So if you guys haven't gotten in and you want to get in, and or you might want a dollar cost average, I would recommend waiting until we get down to like that 340, 320 to that $3 level. Honestly, maybe scope out a $3 play, and you can even have that 260 level, those limit buys. But honestly, if you want to, have a higher chance of getting it, look at that $3 level for a buy target for this one. I do not recommend getting in at around that 418 to that 420, but honestly, man, this one is moving pretty great. And honestly, there's a lot of room to move, and we're getting a lot of hypeness for this. I think we had rating at like a $16 or something like that. Like $15 a share from $10, which is insane. I think I had another one that was like $12 or $16. This one is $14. But honestly, man, analysts are hyped for this, and literally that's still a $10 move if you get to $14, $16. That's even more. But ATAI is one that you guys do not want to miss out on. I have a full video if you guys want to understand what they do and stuff like that. This is just explaining that you guys want to get in, especially in this market uncertainty right now. And honestly, man, I could personally make my plays free right now, but I might have a little bit of more patience, and then maybe run it up to like $10 and then sell half and then keep the other half. And those are basically free shares that I have of ATAI, and I'm just gonna hold it probably forever. Honestly, maybe not forever, but like until like maybe ATI runs up to like $100 or something like that, if we can get there. I'm not saying that we can, but with that being said, man, ATI looks pretty good. Another one that was popping off a decent amount, but in the past, was BBAI, and we are going to the downside. I did tell you guys to watch that 750 to that 650 level. Right now, the stock isn't really looking too good. It's not as hype as it used to be, but that 650 level is still in play if you guys do want to get in. For now, you guys can watch that $6 to that 550 level now if you guys want to get in a little bit more safer. But I think that 650 level isn't really too bad. But with that being said, we can also itch down. So this one, I do recommend having your patience on this one. Do not get in right away. Last time we hit, $6, we bounced back up, got to that $8 level. But honestly, just like I said before, man, just have your patience with this one. But if you guys do see this one down at that $4 to that $5 level, that isn't really a bad level to get into, and you guys can hold it for like a year or two. And honestly, this one can probably go further up. So BBAI is looking pretty good as well, but honestly, man, just please have your patience overall. First link in the description below, I have a bunch of courses to help you guys become more profitable, but some other stocks, the overall market, man. So basically in the video earlier today, I did show you guys the certainty of the S&P 500 and SPY overall and how it moved last August, where we had a V-shaped recovery, and we're kind of forming that right now. So some stocks to watch with that. So the V-shaped recovery ended August 8th and started rallying up once again. But we do have August 12th, we do have the China deadline, and we can either get a pause. But I mean, honestly, if you get a pause or a great deal with China, that can also bring markets up as well. But normally 8th, 12th to like the 30th of August, last August, we actually started rallying up. And honestly, it was just a big V-shaped recovery. And we've seen a big V-shaped recovery before. And if you guys missed out on that one, like literally a couple months ago, you guys can get into this one. With that being said, I am going to be watching Nvidia. I think Nvidia can probably get down to like 165 to maybe even 150 if we do start itching down, and we itch down even faster. Sometimes we take, the elevator down and the stairs up, so that might be what we're seeing. But Nvidia is one that I want to watch, and honestly, man, I'm going to be watching it at around like August, like 5th, 6th, 7th to see if we can start forming that V-shaped recovery. I'm going to be playing option plays, and I'm probably going to be doing it like a month or 2 months in advance, just in case if we do start falling down even more. But just give it a couple of days to sell off, and then we can potentially get in. Another one that I'm personally looking at is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is selling off, especially with those bad job numbers and just everything that is going on with the market. So if you guys want to get in some plays, IBIT is an ETF that moves with Bitcoin. this one can move pretty strong. And honestly, man, look at the rally that we had. We could potentially get a rally like that. And Bitcoin, when it rallies pretty fast. So if you guys want, you guys can get into this one. Another one is going to be Coinbase and, of course, MSTR. These also move with Bitcoin. So I do recommend getting into these ones. Tesla, I think I had a recommendation of buying this one at $300 because we do get some decent bounces off of that. Sometimes we go a little bit lower, but then, a couple days after that, we haven't really been below the 300 level, you know, for a long period of time, low key, maybe just like a couple of days. And if you guys can buy it below that level, it is pretty good. But for now, man, I do recommend waiting. We might be able to get to that 290, maybe even 280 level, especially if it keeps on going because we're already at this level right now. So I would have my patience with this one. Do not watch that 300 level, but we might get some little bounces here and there, like we did like here. Like we bounced down and then we got up like $8. So honestly, man, just have your patience. I think Tesla can get to 290 to that 280 if he starts selling off some more. So I'm gonna be watching Tesla just because Tesla moves so much. You can make you can make a shit ton of money with Tesla, if I'm being honest. Another one that I'm personally watching is Apple, both for my long term and some swing trades. Just because Apple low key, we're still down 16%. So how far down do you really think it can go? So I'm gonna be watching that 200 level first. If it break below that, 195 to that 190 level. But literally, I don't think we can go lower than 195 on Apple. Probably not even lower than 190. We could probably touch 190, but if I can see Apple at 195, even if it's too early, I'm going to be buying my long-term calls there. Especially that 200 level is going to be key. So we might break below that 200 level, of course. But once we do break below it, I'm going to be scoping out my play there. And I recommend you guys doing the same thing. But with that all being said, man, that's mainly the stocks that I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be giving you guys better stock picks tomorrow. And honestly, man, next week as well. Next week is going to be a big week. I think we have a Palantir and AMD earnings. So that is going to be insane. But with that all being said, man, smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Comment down below what plays you guys are watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.